Hi, my name is Jeanne, and I am a universal banker in the Carroll office. I see all kinds of customers that come in throughout the day, open new accounts, help people with loans, answer a lot of questions. One of the things that we seem to have gotten lately are many fraud calls. I do have one specific example that has highlighted or kind of stuck out in my head. It was a gentleman that came in and he had an account with us and he wanted to open a second checking account, which, okay, that might be okay, but that was kind of different. Normally people don't need two checkings. And I asked him, I said, what's the checking account for? And he said, well, it's just something different I need another account for. I said, okay. So he wanted to deposit some money, and it wasn't very much. It was under $100, and I opened it for him and we talked, and he definitely wanted some temporary checks. That day he had to have them, as well as a debit card. So I did that, and I said, oh, so do you have some bills to pay right away out of this? Yeah, I've got to write a check or two right away. Okay, and I said, yeah, there's $80 in there. And he left, and the next day, I was kind of informed that he had taken one of the temporary checks and wrote a rather large amount into his other account, but he didn't have the funds in there. And so the person that was helping him, they refused it and just kind of were hesitant with what he was doing. Well, he did come back in that day, and he came to me and kind of wanted to talk about this and what's going on. And he said, well, I'm talking to the guy from Publishers Clearinghouse, and he said I won. And he said he kept telling me that it's not fraud. It's not fraud. And he said, after I told him that I was talking to the bank, he yelled at me. He got really mad at me. And at that point, I knew there was something going on. I had kind of had the inkling before, but I kind of knew there was something going on. And we discussed it, and I shared with him, I said, if you win money, you're never going to have to be asked to pay the taxes up front, because that's what they had told him. He would have to pay the taxes, and then he would get his money. Well, we discussed it, and I sat with him for probably another 10 or 15 minutes, because he just didn't want to accept that he didn't win this large sum of money. He was really struggling with that. And I finally got him convinced, block that phone number from your phone. You don't need to answer it anymore. We ended up closing the account, the new account, and so he just had the one still, and he left. Later that day, it just kept bothering me and bothering me. So I went on Google, and I was doing a search for Publishers Clearinghouse and fraud. And what I did find is on the U.S. Postal Service website, there was a flyer, and it talks about the Publishers Clearinghouse scam. And on the flyer, it states right here, the Publishers Clearinghouse Prize Patrol comes in person to your door if you are a major winner. You may be contacted by mail, but Publishers Clearinghouse never calls in advance. I took this flyer, I printed it out, I highlighted it, I put a nice note on it, and I said, I hope this helps you understand maybe this is what happened, and I hope this gives you peace of mind that we did catch it and you didn't lose any money. So I mailed that to him. I have not heard anything else from him, but I just felt that at least by getting that and sending that to him, it was a little bit help and give him a little more understanding of we were doing the right thing. So that's just an example of one of the many fraud calls we get each week, but we just have to be really careful. And I feel that it's my responsibility as a banker, and these are my customers, that I want to protect them in any way I can. So the more I can inform them or give them help, the better. So in closing, I would just kind of like to say that we are on your side. We are your backup. So if you get a call, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. If you have someone that is bothering you, won't leave you alone, keep saying, send me money, it's probably fraud. Very well could be. If it's legitimate, we can find those too. We are here to help you. Don't ever hesitate to call us as your banker, call us as your bank. We are wanting to help you 100%. We want to protect your money.